Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Balki Sofia Amirah binti Jaslin. Today I will present about introduction of absolute monarchy. Monarchy, political system based upon the undivided sovereignty or rule of a single person. The term applies to states in which supreme authority is vested in the monarch, an individual ruler who functions as the head of state and who achieves his or her position through heredity. Most monarchies allow only male succession, usually from father to son. During a given society's history, there are certain changes and processes that create conditions conducive to the rise of monarchy. Because warfare was the main means of acquiring fertile land and trade routes, some of the most prominent monarchs in the ancient world made their initial mark as warrior leaders. Next, I will present about absolute monarchy. An absolute monarchy is a form of government in which the ruling monarch enjoys absolute control without limitations from a constitution or from law. In this form of government, the monarch is the head of state and head of government with unrestricted political power. In most instances, power transmits either through marriage or heredity to offspring of the ruling monarch. Historically, once power was centralized in the person of an absolute monarch, the ruler retained power throughout their lifetime and authority continued through bloodline.
Assalamualaikum and hi Dr. Hamdan. My name is Nur Kamilia binti Zulkarnain from AM1103C. My matrix number is 2021491198. So I'm here would like to present about the advantages of absolute monarchy. The first advantages is law can be quickly passed to meet various conditions. The absolute monarchy has power to respond immediately to any emergency. As a result, action can be taken straight away to assist the people. For example, to implement the hudud and qisas in order to secure people from any violence, the Brunei published Sharia Penal Code Order on 2013. This is because the Sultan has limitless legislative and executive authority. The second advantage of absolute monarchy is has high level of security. Any country has experienced the crime, so we need the strong set of regulation and police present to force these rules. When law are disobeyed, the action will be taken. For example, Saudi Arabia has strict Sharia law that people must follow. Under this Sharia law, repeated death is punished by amputation of the right hand, but administered by under aesthetics. This is for a serious death case. As a result, the number of criminal cases in Saudi Arabia reduced a decrease of 16.53%. The third advantage is absolute monarchy can have lower total government costs for populace than democracy as elections are expensive. As we can see in Malaysia, estimates 1.1 billion ringgit for 15 general election because of increased number of voters. In absolute countries, such as Brunei, they suspended the general election in 1962. The Sultan elected the ministers such as Sultan-elect the first female minister to be Minister of Education. Lastly, the country offers stronger, as they establish and maintain powerful military defense to safeguard the nation. The King of Saudi Arabia is a supreme commander to military force, and Saudi Arabia has the best equipped armed force, which placed 20 out of 152 nation for 2022. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Safi Sohaila binti Muhammad Asri. My matrix number is 2021608576. Today I will present about disadvantage of absolute monarchy. First, the line of leadership in absolute monarchy is already established. They cannot give an opinion on who deserves to be the next leader and determine the laws of their land. When people lose interest in their government or feel oppressed by the ruling family, the chance of them revolting rises. Furthermore, some leaders are forced to play a role in government even if they do not want to rule. In this case, It will also make the people feel disgruntled at not being able to get rid of an ineffective leader since they cannot choose the government. For example, in Saudi Arabia, the political system dominated by the royal family. The family size allows them to have control over the most important position in the kingdom as well as participate in and visible at all levels of government. Second, most absolute monarchy may lack the binding factor that is associated with humanism. A monarchy may have a welfare state, a religious state, or even an ethnic, racial, or linguistic state. Humanism might not be the strongest link in this situation, but it could result in elementary violation of human rights. In Saudi Arabia, there has discrimination against women which has violated their human right to live freely as they wish. Women cannot travel without permission from their husband, fathers, brothers for almost everything, including marriage, divorce, education, and so on. The freedom of human rights should not be restricted because it is a principle related to the equality and justice of living a life free from fear, harassment, or discrimination. Lastly, an absolute monarchy may lead to grave injustice. People who are connected to the royal family frequently receive favour. Most low-class citizens are given inferior treatment and fewer rights. When making choices that help society, they could be overlooked. For example, in France, they was divided into 3 estates. Third estate is citizen who has no influence to the government. Second estate is French nobility and royalty. This estate who are governed royal justice and civil government. The second estate is exempt from forced labor on the roads and from most other forms of taxation such as salt tax. Lastly, first estate consists of all scholars and it was divided into 2 higher and lower scholars. Therefore, who are sitting at the third estate, they burdened with taxes from superiors, even they live in deprivation because the superiors have received a lot of favours and pleasure. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Hamdan. My name is Siti Nusahira binti Muhammad Khairil. My student number is 2021208738. Today, I would like to present about my part, which is an example of the country in the form of an absolute monarchy. As we know, the absolute monarchy is referred to a form of the government that the political power is held by one individual or one superior. Usually, the rules is by a queen or a king. The example of the country that apply this government power or government system is Brunei Darussalam. We know the Brunei is the developed Islamic country with a small population in South Asia. And the capital city of the Brunei is Bandar Seri Begawan. Today, the traditional ruler of Brunei is Haji Hassanal Bolkiah Muazzadin Wad Daulah is control of the country administrations. He is known as the Yang di-Pertuan Negara or Sultan of Brunei. Therefore, Sultan is the higher leader, which is he is the executive and legislative body is consisting of 20 members, but he is right to make decisions when he wants to take care of welfare for the peoples with advice of the minister in his country. Therefore, British offered the Sultan internal autonomy and governmental authority in 1959. For example, when Sultan Omar Ali, Saifuddin and Sir Robert Scott, who is the Commissioner General in South Asia, signed the Constitution Agreement on September 29, 1959 in Bandar Seri Begawan. This agreement was happened after British was caused the Sultanate of Brunei falls in 1906. This is 4 things of Constitution of Brunei. The first is Sultan Brunei is the supreme head of state. Second, Brunei Darussalam is responsible for domestic affairs. Third, the United Kingdom government is responsible for foreign affairs and defense. And the last one is the position of president is stripped and replaced by the higher commissioner United Kingdom. For the judiciary, branch in Brunei, they use the religion's law in a court and English law for use in common law court. However, this shows that Sultan has full power over the country. This is to ensure Brunei has the economy stable country from external threats. For example, the implementation of Sharia Criminal Penal Court Order 2013 is a law made during the state of emergency by the sultans. In this law, it is used for the criminal offence tried by the civil court. Among the offences are killing, robbery, stealing, raping, and causing injury to humans. Is provided in it with punishment consisting of death penalty, imprisonment, flogging, or fine. Lastly, Brunei also took law from the Sharia court in Malaysia as an example for make law in their country. For example, regarding to the mal event, criminal event, evidence, and Islamic family law. This punishment was taken by the hudud punishment. Therefore, for the Syarika, Hirabah, and Zina, the judiciary branch was take the action or punishment based on the hudud punishment. This is because Brunei is one of the Islamic country, so the hudud punishment is relevant to use in the country. The punishment order in the Criminal Penal Court Order 2013 cannot be invoked by any citizen in Brunei because this is the absolute decision by the Sultan. That's all for me.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Hamdan. My name is Johanna Alia binti Jalani. My metric number is 2021203736. As you can see, this is the last part of our presentation, which is conclusion. In my opinion, I agree that absolute monarchy is a good system of government for the people and the country that practices it. Absolute monarchy has a huge impact on countries that practices it, such as Brunei and Saudi Arabia. Countries that practice absolute monarchy can take good care of their people, such as in terms of welfare, education, and so on. For example, Brunei practices freedom of expression and belief in its people. It means that the people of Brunei are able to embrace the religion they believe in. But in Brunei, Muslims are not allowed to marry non-Muslim because our state religion of Brunei is Sunni Islam. Next, Saudi Arabia has a legal system where every Saudi Arabian woman must have a male legal guardian. However, Saudi Arabia's latest law has allowed single, divorced and widowed women to live alone without the permission of their father or a close male family member. This shows that there is a freedom for women in Saudi Arabia. From the perspective of Malaysians who practice constitutional monarchy, absolute monarchy has advantages in terms of safeguarding the welfare of society. This is because rulers have absolute power to govern their country. The decision or help given to the people can be done quickly. Last but not least, absolute monarchy is very important in creating a developed, great and competitive country and producing intellectual citizens from various aspects. That's all from me and my group members. Thank you for your attention.